Hello, my little Luxes. This is Charcy Lux. And with me is my dork in crime, who is extremely adorkable.
Yes. With my faux fur coat. It's all DC right here. Look at this. Oh, this is faux fur. I don't do real fur. I love animals. So this is faux fur. I eat a lot of meat though. I'm not a vegan. I eat a lot of steak. So but I got a hook. Let's go this way.
We don't kill animals for sport, basically. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I am back alley abortionist.
I said not to make that joke. Oh my god, no. We are starting over.
All right, I need to put that down. And this is my mom's coat. This is why Charcy is laughing so hard, because it's my mom's coat, so the sleeves don't even go down. It doesn't fit. Budget Candyman.
I think you're officially more of a closet cosplayer than I am. So mine kind of was a failed attempt because it is being inspired by, well, obviously, I mean, everyone, if you watched our last episode and our hints on our Twitters or Instagrams and that kind of stuff, DC, what is the movie that is our thing for today?
Our movie is a very important one. It's Candyman, 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 Candyman. In the mirror, because I'm a man and I ain't scared.
It only works if you turn off the light next.
I'm not scared of nothing. Nothing's gonna happen ever. I'm in a mood today. My hair's all messed up.
You're in a good mood though. It's good that you're in a good mood. Yeah. I like you in a good mood.
This is a very hot coat though. Holy balls, I'm hot.
I guess you gotta strip it off at some point then.
Oh, okay.
But my cosplay is just supposed to be inspired by the bees, since the bees are a lovely, and I made the joke to DC the other night. I'm like, shit, I don't have a bee costume, otherwise I would totally wear it for this episode.
It's appropriate because bees are Candyman's little kind of weakness, and you're my weakness. So hey, how about that?
Oh God, the cheese.
This movie is fantastic. This movie is fantastic. It's like even like, I mean, we were talking about, we watched it together, and like before we like got to it, I was like, hey, do you have the unrated version or the rated version? Because that's kind of important to know. And in reality, it's not exactly important to know because it's only 45 seconds longer at a crisp 99 minutes, which is great because it's not too long, not too short. So you could say it's the perfect size. It's perfect. I love this. This is one of my absolute favorite movies. So because I'm a Clive Barker fan, so, and I love it. But yeah,
I love how weird he is, and like anyone who's ever worked with him is always like, he is weird. But you know what? Here in the universe of Little Channel of Horrors, we love weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh, someone play Goodbye Horses for me. Come on. I'll do it.
Must be losing that coat now.
I'll tuck it. I'll tuck the PP. I don't care. I'll tuck it. I'll do full on good. I will just.
See, that just makes me think of Jay from Jay and Silent Bob with the reboot. So.
And I watched a Kevin Smith thing last night, so it's like
even more fitting.
But it's good. I love it. I love this movie. It's important. It has many different meanings to me. So like I have it. It's attached to me and my wife. It's attached to me and you. Yes, it's awesome.
It's attached to you and Tony Todd.
I have a very odd obsession with Tony Todd. Like and it's not like a bad obsession, like not like I want to stalk the guy or anything like that. It's just
he's one of your number one favorite celebrities. So
yes, and it's not like he just just for Candyman either, because actually Candyman was not the first time I ever saw Tony Todd. My first experience with Tony Todd was I'm a massive Star Trek fan. I've got the Enterprise on my arm there. And I saw him in The Next Generation. He played Worf's brother. And it was one of my favorite episodes, their little fight, I guess, their feud. And then he would go on to play older Jake in Deep Space Nine and make me cry. But it's not only that. Ooh, kitty. But it's
she's being naughty. She's climbing on the computer. So sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. It's not only that. This guy has been in Platoon, which is a classic. He was in Colors, which is a racial classic. Night of the Living Dead. Candyman, of course. The Crow. He was in The Crow. He played a bad guy in The Crow. He was in The Rock.
So good.
Yes, he was in Wishmaster. I mean, God, what else, man? Of course, Final Destination. Final Destination, man. Murder Set Pieces. Like, God, he's been in so much, and
I still say he makes the #1 favorite death character I have ever seen. His voice, his atmosphere, everything.
Yeah, and
he's the perfect death.
He's not the guy that's in a movie and then you're like, wait, Tony Todd was in that? It was like he is the scene stealer. I mean, and it's just even his Final Destination, he has in one of his scenes, like one of the first things whenever you see him finally, and it's just this little nuance of when he says, I'll see you soon. And it's like, even just that little bit, you're like, oh my God, this dude is amazing. And it's not just that, he's also he plays the voice of Darkseid in Justice League. It was an animated film.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. He's perfect for Darkseid. But then and I'm just covering his movies. This dude has been in every show. I have to actually look this one up. Hold on.
How many credits he has for different shows and things like that.
Oh, I'm just looking up television. I know his filmography.
She did knock everything over. The little shit.
So here we go. 1987 was when he started. So this is a lot. 21 Jump Street, Night Court, MacGyver, Matlock, Jake and the Fat Man, Star Trek, The Next Generation, of course. Law and Order, The X-Files. He was in one of my favorite episodes. I believe it was called Sleepless.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one. That is a good episode.
He played Augustus, actually.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Yes, he was in Hercules, Deep Space Nine, Murder, She Wrote, Beverly Hills 90210.
Who the hell was he on that?
Xena, Warrior Princess, Hercules, Babylon 5, Angel, Smallville, Crossing Jordan, Andromeda, Charmed. This dude has been in everything. 24. Like this, he was in Psych. I didn't even know he was in Psych because I never watched it. Dude was in The Young and the Restless. He was in The Young and the Restless.
I mean, he's kind of a nice romantic, so I guess it works.
God, oh my God! If Tony Todd watches this, I freaking love you, man. This dude is incredible. He follows me on Twitter, so he might. So
maybe. Yeah,
but anyway, this movie. We probably should start talking about the movie at some point.
I was gonna say we're about 10 minutes in, and but I mean, you have to like fangirl on Tony Todd because he's fantastic. God,
he's the best. Hatchet. I'm sorry, Hatchet. I forgot to mention Hatchet. He was the voodoo priest. Oh my God, dude.
You know what? Another fitting role for his atmosphere.
Yeah. But I read the book or the short story, The Forbidden by Clive Barker, and I've already told you this part, but this is one of those times where the movie is better than the book. So the movie has much more backstory. Candyman did not have a backstory in this, because in the short story, because he was not a supernatural entity. He was a pale blonde white man that killed people in the ghetto, pretty much. But it was in the ghetto of England. So it was like, it's completely different. There's no real racial undertones, stuff like that. And even Clive Barker is like, nah, they did it. They did way better than I did. So it's cool. It was a much different story, but they kept the romance. So that's what matters.
Yeah. And of course, you know, the whole story develops around that weird romantic love story between the two. But you know what? Her husband is a complete Trevor, I think was his fucking name, was
Trevor.
a complete piece of shit. So yeah.
He got what he deserved in Terminator 2.
I thought you were going to say for this movie. I felt like he got what he deserved in this movie too.
Terminator 2, he got a arm spike through the mouth. He got it through the milk jug into his mouth, into the cabinet. It's cool, and it's like the best scene too, because she's on the phone and she's just like, he's like, yeah, honey, swag. It's
right, because you had reminded me that he was in Terminator 2, so.
Yes, I did. Like he's in a lot of stuff, and he doesn't always play a piece of crap, but a lot of the times he does. So, but
it must be his calling card.
Yes, he did get it, and he is a piece of crap. And Helen is not. Helen was a cool chick. So, played by the wonderful Virginia Madsen, who I said while we were watching, I was like, I would have a mouthful of bees if I could kiss Virginia Madsen. That'd be awesome.
Which, I mean, obviously they do that scene in that scenario, which you had a bunch of facts that went with about the bees and the backstory with that.
Yes, the bees. That's my favorite fact of the whole thing is Tony Todd negotiated. He was like, hey, I get $1,000 for each sting, and he got stung 23 times. So he got $23,000 for just getting stung.
Being stung.
Yes, and Virginia Madsen wouldn't do the bee scenes because she was allergic to bees, and they went and had her tested, and she's actually more allergic to wasps, so she had to do the bee scenes anyway, and she was still allergic to bees, but they had something waiting on set for her. It was, I guess that's a safe way to do it. So
they used special pheromones to spray on her body. And they would spread out. And she said the freakiest part was like when they first would lay the bees on you. And she's like, so at first when they're hitting your face, you're like freaking out. But she goes, then they'd like spread out. And she goes, it's not so bad.
Yes. The female pheromones. So the queen pheromones, that's what it is. So it's very cool.
Yeah. And I had just read a little bit into it just because of the fact from what you had told me, and that they were very careful about, because the bee specialist that they had, like they said he was phenomenal because he babied these bees. They were his babies, and that he literally would hatch them for that 24 hours, because for the first 24 hours, bees are less likely to sting you.
Yeah.
So he would have them specially hatched just for these scenes. And I mean, to think how many more times that Tony Todd would have been stung if it wasn't these younglings. So
baby bees. Oh yeah. Oh, and that Virginia Madsen was hypnotized. She was hypnotized for a lot of the scenes whenever she is being called by Candyman, the Helen, you know, let's see, like
I think every scene that they put her with Tony Todd, they hypnotized her to the point where she actually started getting upset because she didn't want to be put under.
Yeah. Like I would probably look at Tony Todd and be hypnotized because I mean he's a handsome fella.
Different reasons.
The handsome fella. I'm crushing on him. I'm straight as an arrow, but I'm crushing on him. So, but it's just she was fantastic in the movie. She was originally supposed to play the part of her friend,
the best friend,
yes, her best friend, the one, I forget her name, but she was played by the black girl. And they decided they wanted her to be black because I guess my guess would be that they don't want two white women going into the ghetto. That doesn't make sense. You got to have something. And when they did do it, it was funny because the black girl was the one that was like, I don't want to go to the ghetto. And Helen was just like, yeah, let's go. You know,
I want to look up her name now because it's going to bother me because we just watched it the other night.
It was on the tip of my tongue. And we weren't distracted. We were just watching it. I mean,
We were pretty into it, and it's like
Yeah.
I forgot like how graphic some of these scenes would get, especially with her friend's death. And it's like, oh, I feel so bad because her friend is one of my favorite characters too. So
I think it was. I don't think it's so much the violence of
oh, Bernie.
Bernadette. Yeah, she was supposed to play Bernadette, but and whenever she was playing Bernadette, they got someone else to play Helen, which was actually the director's wife at the time, and then she got pregnant, so they moved Virginia Madsen to play Helen.
To the main
And if
character.
if Virginia Madsen wouldn't have said yes, then they would have gotten Sandra Bullock, because Sandra Bullock was in line to play Helen. And they wanted Eddie Murphy for Candyman. So
I still think that's the most bizarre one. Oh, and real quick, the one who played Bernie was Cassie Lemons.
yeah, but I don't know. I love Eddie Murphy. Don't get me wrong. Eddie he's cool, great comedian, wonderful actor, but he's not.
But he was more a comedian back then. Like I can't picture him for those darker roles. I could see him do it now.
He was fresh off of Beverly Hills Cop, I think. So the reason why he didn't is because they couldn't afford him. Like he was too expensive. So, but yeah, I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone but Tony Todd playing Candyman. There's no way. Except for in the new one, and I'll reiterate this: do not call it Jordan Peele's Candyman. It is not Jordan Peele's Candyman. It is.
Whose Candyman is it then, DC?
That would be. I can't say the name very well, so I have to look at the spelling.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna correct them, at least give them the correct name to use.
I really do not want to butcher his name. So I'm gonna look at the name. Okay. It's Naya DaCosta. Like, I'm really bad at saying the name. I used to have a stammer. So it's like the does. So it's DaCosta. Yeah. She is the director. Jordan Peele is the producer. So technically it is a Jordan Peele movie, but people are calling it Jordan Peele's Candyman, and it's not. I am excited for it because Tony Todd has put his stamp of approval on it. So yeah, works for me.
I'm excited to see it. And even more so after us watching the old one. And I still can't believe that was back from 1992, that's going to be 30 years. Yeah, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, this was one of Tony Todd's firsts. So it was like, he was like his 6th or 7th movie. Like he already did Platoon and everything else like that, but it's, yeah, I don't know.
Just how good he was in it, right? Even back then. So
yeah, it's so good. And it was, but one of the things that the reason why it's so connected with me and my fiance, like, whenever I met my fiance, she was extremely sheltered. Like she came from a major Christian upbringing. And she wasn't allowed to watch movies over PG-13. It was like, you can't watch that. And so when she met me, she knew I was obsessed with horror movies. I mean, she saw my Blu-ray collection and was just like, oh my God, that's a lot of horror movies, dude. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, I want to get into them. Like, all right. So, I mean, I started her off soft with like Friday the 13th and like Halloween, and just like, yeah, let's watch a slasher because it's not particularly scary.
The classics.
And she's okay, cool. And we go on. She's like, all right, let's try something a little bit harder. And I was like, Candyman, why not? And after Candyman, that's when she pretty much fell in love with horror, because she was like, that was not just blood and guts and grossness, that actually had a story. She loved Candyman. She loved Tony Todd. She said he was sexy. And she's like, the movie
is.
yeah. She was like, I was like, all right, cool. But I was like, calm down there. and she loved it because she said that he was romantic, and it was kind of like had a good backstory, and he was relatable. And she was like, and he's like the only horror guy I've ever rooted for. Like, she's like, I wanted him to, she's like, she's like, yeah, I want Freddy and Jason to kill the dumb teenagers, but like, she's like, I wanted this guy to like get the girl. He's like, I wanted him to get Helen and everything. And I'm like, yeah. And the only thing she didn't like really was kind of the ending, because she was just like, oh, why was he an antagonist? She was like, tell me, give me one good reason why he's an antagonist. Like, what did he do? He just killed people who wouldn't keep his name out their mouth. That's it. Like, I can't answer that question.
Well, he technically became the antagonist because he's worked around an urban legend, and we all know how urban legends work. So
yeah, I can't really say why Candyman is a bad guy. He really,
he might not be. It could be Trevor.
Yeah, he didn't kill anyone well, no, Bernadette. He did kill Bernadette. So yeah,
Bernadette,
there was one person that didn't deserve it. And I guess he did.
The dog.
Yeah. But still, okay, there's a little bit, but still, it's like, in reality, he's just a guy who was very wronged, like very wronged. I mean, and that brings out the racial stuff, though. But I mean, the stuff like, I love the fact that Candyman is a slave, or not really. He's not actually a slave. He's the child of a slave.
He's noble.
Yes,
because of a noble slave. Yeah,
and that is awesome. He is not just some, like, and I'm probably going to get a lot of crap. He's not one of them yes massa kind of. It's not, because a lot of times when you have movies go into the slavery thing, it's stereotypical. It's just yes massa, stuff like that. And
where he was actually educated and brought up. Yeah,
exactly. And I like that. And there really isn't stereotypical racism in this. Yes, there is a ghetto. Yes, it's mostly black, or all black, pretty much. I didn't see any white people in that ghetto. But it's not stereotypical. I didn't hear the N-word in that movie at all. And that's another point, is that the Bernard Rose, the director, who is a white Englishman, made it a point to make sure to stay away from stereotypes. He did not want this to be a racial thing. He didn't want the black guys walking in with their pants sagging, holding the gun in their crotch, being like, yo, what's up? He didn't want that. He was like, no, let's have them be people, because they're people. It's like, and that's how it should be done. So this movie is like better at racial tones than anything we make now. Like, there's so many stereotypical black roles, and this surpasses it, and it's very cool. I like that.
And he actually hired the local kids of the gangs, because he's like, why don't we hire them, give them some work? And Virginia flat out even said, she goes, when you realize when you were working with them, she goes, these are just kids. And she's like, so we're trying to give them an opportunity here. And I think it was the last day of filming that they had mentioned that one of their theater film trucks had actually got shot at. So they said they had no problems whatsoever except on that last day. And that last day they were petrified.
Yeah. I mean, and then they really shot in Cabrini Green.
Through the truck.
Mm-hmm. That was the real ghetto. Like, they really shot there. And
you mean the filming? Yeah.
I don't remember where they filmed exactly. It was like Detroit or something, or Chicago. Or no, it was Chicago.
It was
actually Chicago.
It was Chicago.
Yeah. It was.
It's in my hills.
Your neck of the woods. Yeah. So it was. They shot in Chicago, and I've been to Chicago, and it's not all.
Most people have.
Yeah, all of it's great. But the thing is, I mean, I don't care if people know where I live. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we have ghettos in Knoxville, Tennessee, except ours is filled with white trash. And And I can tell you that they're much worse than some of the ghettos I've been to that are filled with Black people. So it's like, it's accurate. I guess that's the word. It's a very accurately portrayed film. It's very cool. Even the guy who played Candyman, not Tony Todd, the other one, the gang leader, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Even he wasn't like speaking in Ebonics. He even had like a tone to him, a proper tone to him. It was what the frick did he say that I was laughing about so much? He was like,
and they repeat it because he has to say it in the line. You looking for like, Candyman, bitch?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, but when he said it, it was so proper. It was like, I'm Candyman, bitch. It was like, and it was very.
I hear you're looking for Candyman, bitch. And
yeah, that one. I was like,
yeah,
Candyman, bitch. And it's like, it was very 70s blaxploitation.
Yeah,
Superfly. Kind 70s, of coffee.
I will agree to that.
Yes, very, very Foxy Brown. You know, he's like, hey mama, hey, you looking for Candyman, bitch. Like, I love that. It was awesome and it made me laugh. So but he did horrible things. He beat her, but still.
Yeah, he was a bad man.
But it was, I like it. But another one is this movie brought us together too, and you get to tell that story because you're the one who are all like, oh, he's so cute.
I mean, I could start with the story and you could take over because I technically don't know your side.
No,
like not to a T.
I was trying to impress a girl.
What girl do you see?
You. You think I was trying to impress the other one?
No. Well, so basically when I first started on Twitter in August, but I want to say this was around September, or was it?
Yeah.
Because I want to say it was within a. Okay, so around your birthday, yeah, because it took me how long to find out when your birthday was?
Yeah, but, you took you a long time to find out what my name was. I didn't play that.
No, actually, lie.
But I know your name. I know. You found out my name before I found out your name.
That's true. You gave me your name
first.
And
I found out your last name by pure accident. You were like, check out this Facebook post. So like, here's your last name.
I didn't care at that point. You would give me your whole name. But anyway, back on topic. So it was probably someone had put up a post. We're talking about Bloody Mary. And that she was never brave enough to do Bloody Mary, and that her friends used to always make fun of her because they wouldn't want to play the game Bloody Mary, but she was never brave enough to do it. So I came in and just commented, I'm like, I had never been brave enough to do Bloody Mary myself either, to go in the mirror, say Bloody Mary's name 3 times, turn off the light, blah, 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 because my friends years before that they had done it, and of course would always tell me the story that their cousin, when he had done it and turned off the light, they had seen something, and of course, you know, stupid teenagers. So we were joking about that. Well, in comes this guy, I don't know who he is, just recently followed me at some point.
When I figured
out after you realized I wasn't a bot.
Yeah.
And starts giving me shit. We're actually technically both of us shit. Like, oh, that's silly. You should be brave
I flat
enough
out
to do
called you a pussy. Yeah, I just said that word on YouTube. We can't monetize this now.
You can edit it out.
I ain't doing any work.
So they really demonetized because of that word?
Yes.
Of all words? Oh my God.
I mean, I could demonetize it right now. Shit, fuck, cock, ass. I mean, none of that. You can't even say the word rape anymore. So yeah. So like these people who do true crime, I have a friend who does true crime, and she used to DM me, and because I'm an English major, I have a master's in English, and she used to DM me and be like, so I can't say the word rape. Can you please give me another word? And I was like, yeah, violated. Violated actually sounds worse. So go for that. And about a month later, she was like, I'm not allowed to say the word violated. I'm like, why? It's a word, but whatever. Anyway, back to the story.
Back to the story.
Yeah.
So you're giving me a hard time, and you literally make a video where it's you, and I think it was Laz with you too.
It was like, well, we
Where-
didn't know Laz was with me, but he was.
Well, I figured it out. So you made the video, and you're like, "Here, I'll prove it to you." And I think you did both of them. You did Bloody Mary, and then you turned around, and you did Candyman, and you turned off the light, and then the joke was,
light
and then
was
you
off.
turned and heard a noise.
Oh no, that was Laszlo. He said, "Be my victim." Turned around, he's sitting there with a machete. It's a classic. Love it. It's my idea.
And I hope that video's still on there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's not on my phone anymore.
Oh, but so there's where we finally started talking, was because of that, and we haven't stopped talking to each other since then.
Like when we watched Candyman, it was like we watched Candyman, and we were video chatting, and we were just like, okay, we kept going. And then your husband shows up and he sits down. No, my fiance shows up.
It started with your fiance.
And then your husband shows up and he sits down, and it's like just the four of us chatting for like an hour. It's like, wait, weren't we supposed to be doing something? Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's like,
so when people,
I think the movie got done.
Yeah, when people like they see us on here, I will go ahead and I've already told you about this, but I've had people in my DMs like, oh wait, you two are not like together. I'm like, if we were together, why would we do this remotely? What?
We'd be sitting next to each other.
No. And she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm friends with her husband. I'm like, I'm good friends with her husband. We talk a lot. He's like the dopest dude. Like,
we were trying to plan seeing a concert together. So yeah, all of us.
Yes, we were trying to see the concert, and it was like, then we sat down and did the math. And we were like, oh, well, we'll save money by sharing a hotel room. And it's like, no, we won't save money for the hotel room.
We won't save shit.
$1,000. Jesus. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, it sucks that we don't get to do that. But yeah, you know, what are you gonna do? So we'll figure something out. We're trying to get together. So
we may someday in the future have an episode with DC and I actually sitting in the same room.
Yes. And I really would like to do an episode with me and my fiance, you and your husband. That would be cool as hell. All four of us.
We already kind of know what movie we want to do. Yes. My hubby brought up the one he wants to do.
Yes, so. Because the hubby has a secret that is like, even I'm like, what? He's married to you, and he what? Like, okay. Cool.
Do we save it for that episode or just reveal it now?
Well, I think I've already.
Most people know. My husband actually really isn't into horror movies unless they're ones with a plot line. So he loves all the classics like Halloween and Nightmare. Wow, I almost said Nightmare Before Christmas, but that's not right.
Hey, I can get people
Elm Street.
I can get people to hate me.
You hate that movie. You hate that movie.
I hate Nightmare Before Christmas. I hate musicals. I hate them.
I hate them. They're not for everybody. No. Unless they're the stupid ones. You love the stupid ones.
I like the stupid ones. But like if it's made to be stupid. But my thing is more like I'm a kind of guy who likes realistic kind of things. I mean, granted, horror is not realistic.
No.
But like I'm talking about like, but you don't see in a horror movie someone like being like, oh yeah, I went down to the beach. You don't see that. That's not. And then because if someone starts singing in front of me, I'm gonna call a paddy wagon and have them sent off to an insane asylum because no one just sings. Like this is, and that's why Tangled is one of my favorite Disney movies because they sing and the guy stops there and he's like, why is everyone singing? It's like, I love that.
Break the fourth wall.
It's cool. So yeah, and it's no, it's like no. And then I'm like, I just don't, and I don't really like comedies that much. So it's like,
which I could get it, but at the same time, it's like I love my stupid comedies.
Yeah. Well, comedies I don't like them because they it's like forced laughter. It feels forced. That's why I like Hot Rod and Anchorman and stuff like that, is because those are like more than half ad-libbed. They're the most of the stuff in there is completely ad-libbed, and I love that because it feels more organic. So when they say something really stupid, it's good.
I love Lamp.
I love Lamp. Yes. I sorry I ate your chocolate squirrel. But yes, we're gonna, yeah, and then I feel super sad for you that you've never seen Hot Rod, because that's a classic. I don't know. But back to like Candyman is not funny. So
no, it is. It's like the modern day version of Romeo and Juliet, but a ghost story.
Devoid of comedy, and which is weird because Tony Todd can do comedy. He's been
very well.
Yes, he can do comedy very well. He has very good comedic timing. But this is not. I mean, we didn't watch any of the sequels. Farewell to the Flesh, Day of the Dead. We didn't watch those. They're not very good.
Years since I've seen them.
Yes, they are. They are good for a Candyman movie, for a horror, but they kind of turn it into a slasher instead of a psychological thriller and stuff like that. And I don't know for a fact, but I think even Roger Ebert, the famous horror hater, actually liked Candyman. So.
And he gave it a really high rating, I noticed. But yeah, Ebert's always disliked horror movies. Which it's like, in my opinion, it's like, why are you having someone who doesn't like something be a critic for it? You need someone who's not biased towards it.
And I really kind of despise Ebert. Like, I realize he's a legend and stuff like that, but I despise the man for what he.
I'm curious to hear why.
Oh no, with Friday the 13th, Betsy Palmer, played Mama Voorhees, played Pamela. In his review, Roger Ebert trashed the movie, called it garbage, and then in his review that went to a national publication, gave everyone Betsy Palmer's address and said, send her hate mail. I'm like,
yeah, that's illegal.
You're
on so many levels.
Human being. Then he did the same thing for, God, I don't remember what movie. It's a classic slasher, but he gave everyone in the production's address in his review and said, send them hate mail. And it's like, dude, you are a piece of human garbage. And there's a reason.
We should find out his address and have people send him hate mail then.
He's dead.
That's true.
Yeah, he's dead. He died of throat cancer. And he lost his.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he lost his bottom jaw. And I mean, it sucks that he died, sucks that he went through so much pain, but karma's a bitch.
As you drink. The shade.
Hold on. He did that, but that's none of my business. There you go. Yeah.
Supposed to do it in the Kermit the Frog here.
Oh, yeah, I can. Kermit the Frog here. Yeah, well, he gave her address, but that's none of my business. Yes, I do Kermit the Frog too. I also do people who watched my video today that I did 3 rapid impressions, and then I do Kermit and I do Elmo too. So
yeah, the cutest little Elmo.
Yeah. I got a low voice, but I can get it really high. It's just like this. I'm like Axl Rose. Yeah.
I have very few impersonations of anything.
You have Pikachu.
I do.
Yeah, and I use my Pokemon pickup lines on you.
I'm like, okay, I'm already picturing the stupid Pikachu.
Yeah, I used to use pickup lines on you a lot. Like, it was horrible, especially when I found out you were married. because then I knew it was
They
safe.
got worse.
Because I knew it was safe. I was like, she's not going to take me seriously. Like, that's my thing, is like, whenever I use these little pickup lines on girls, I have very few of them that actually don't take me seriously. I have Tabby. Tabby is my girl. I love her. She is so cool. I'll give her little pickup lines all the time. And she does not take me seriously. She's like, oh, that one's cute. And I'm like, yes, all right. But then there are, like, back in the day, I used to do it. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'll give you a little pickup line to make you laugh. And they're like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, have you seen my fiance? Because yeah, this is you. This is my fiance. Because, like, hey, I'm not leaving that for you. Like, she is
that's
smoke
so
show.
me.
Oh my goodness. She's a smoke show, man. God, every time I put a picture up, what was that last one I put up of her, of the getting ready for date night? That thing got like 200 likes. Because I'm like, I don't even get 200 likes on a good meme. Like, why? Girl, I'm gonna have a.
We know how the internet works. The internet is fun.
I'm gonna have a sex change and do the full on, what's her name, Belle Delphine face where she crosses her eyes, sticks out her tongue thing. Like a weirdo.
That is so popular nowadays, like, especially having, like, women get on camera and just drool. It's like,
yeah. Or the what is it, the Japanese pose?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So stupid. Let's just get on Twitch and just do poses. Come on. Twitch is now becoming OnlyFans, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that should be our thumbnail.
Yeah. No, I can't do it as well. I'll just you gotta get me with the hook. Yeah, the hook. No, he did it with his right hand, but see, this thing's reversed, so it's hard to do. It's like doing the weather on the news. Everything is backwards. But yeah, it's a full-blown coat hanger. Yeah. I bent the crap out of it.
You literally are a closet player now.
Yeah. I mean,
closet items.
Well, the next one I can't do anything for because I don't know anything about it, because it's a movie neither of us has seen. So
I thought this was my. Oh, that's right. Yes. This one. That's
right. It's the new one.
You get to make this announcement.
Yes.
So we're skipping. No, because I.
No, you're not skipping. We're delaying. We're delaying your choice because we have it to where we have both chosen two. So now we're kind of in a neutral zone. So I thought maybe, we could do something special. So
I'll let you say the name because I can't think of the name for the life of me right now. But it's a series or movie that's a Netflix original that's coming out on Friday the 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, it actually came out. It actually came out Friday in theaters, but it's coming to Netflix a week later. Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. We're gonna do that. Yes, because
Army of the Dead. That's what it was.
I am a massive fan, just a ridiculous fan of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I realize that not a lot of people like that movie, or not like there are some people that hate that movie. A lot of people love it, but I am a massive Zack Snyder fan. I love
it's 300. Either love or hate.
Yes. And
300 so good.
Sorry. That's heard something.
What happened?
I thought I heard someone pulling my driveway.
Serial killer
this is gonna be interesting. But so anyway, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. It stars Batista, who is Dave Batista, who played Drax the Destroyer. He's also a professional wrestler, one of my favorites. So I just thought it would be a cool thing to do. I originally wanted to do Spiral from the Book of Saw, but they decided not to release that on HBO Max. So,
HBO.
Yeah, and I'm not going to ask you to pay money to go to a theater for that. And honestly, I'm glad we didn't do that because I went and saw it Friday, and it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. It just wasn't great. Like, it was very meh. Yeah, it's just it was I'll give a short, tiny review. It's a movie that tries to be something it's not. Saw is torture porn. That's all it is. It's torture porn. Put them in the traps, kill them. There's your Saw movie. This movie tried to be Seven. It was like, hey, let's make this a psychological thriller, and it's like, and then about 20 minutes into the movie, I saw a scene and I leaned over to my wife and I was like, I know who the killer is. And then I said it. The movie happens. At the end of the movie, it's exactly who I said it was. So I'm like, it's very predictable, but the traps are pretty cool. So it's just like, and there's only it's a very small death count. It's only 4 or 5 people that die in that movie. So
yeah, that is a small death count. So,
but
especially for a Saw related movie.
However, Chris Rock was awesome in that movie. He was fantastic in that movie. Like, I was like, dang, dude. I love it when comedians go horror because it's always surprising.
Yeah, very true. Yes. I can 100% agree with that.
Yes.
Well, I should say when they go to horror and they do well at it, like you're not expecting it.
Oh yeah, Jordan Peele all the way. Like Jordan Peele, like, he was a king of comedy, and then it was like, hey, Jordan Peele's releasing a new movie. It's going to be, this is going to be really funny. No, it's a horror movie. Yeah, it's called Get Out. It's like, okay.
Oh, that is such a good movie too.
Yes. And that is from Jordan Peele of Key and Peele fame. Like Bruce Willis, Aaron. It's like, and you're like, God dang, dude, he's psychotic. And then he did Twilight Zone. But no, the Army of the Dead, it's not getting like the best reviews in the world, but honestly, Zack Snyder rarely does.
Yeah. So. We still want to give it our go, and it would be kind of nice doing something that's recently happening now and that we can talk about, and everybody hopefully can, comment on what they feel about it, think about it. Hopefully they can watch it as well. So when we give our review, we're not going to try and, because it's new, not to give spoilers, like kind of talk around it. Yeah.
And it's going to be, I'm sure there's not going to be any like surprises. I mean, the whole thing, the movie is about a heist. They're going to do a heist on a casino surrounded by zombies. That's it. That's your plot. But it's, I mean, and
sounds like up my alley.
I love this stuff, and I don't know. It's be spoiler free, and I mean, you never know. Maybe that will get a little bit more views, and then people will know that people want newer stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of hard.
We can mix it in, and
yeah, it's kind of hard because most horror movies that come out now are not that great. So it's like the classics are the best ones, but
yeah.
There's some good ones. I mean, there's the one though. God, everyone is praising this movie, Psycho Goreman, and I'm like, I did not like that movie.
I haven't seen that one, so
yeah. And then everyone on Last Drive-In watched Mandy, and I'm just sitting here like everyone's just sitting here saying how great this movie is, and I'm just like, did I miss something? Because that movie was garbage to me. But
and I haven't seen that either. What's sad is that my group of friends that we watch do watch parties and movies and that they got to see Mandy, and one of the millions of times that I have stuff come up was one of those nights, and it's like I've always been interested to watch it, and the fact that you don't like it just makes me want to watch it more.
Oh, you would love it. That movie is right up your alley. You would love that movie, and that's great. Like and the thing is, I love that people love Psycho Goreman, and I love that people love Mandy, and like that's so cool that you guys love these movies. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I don't like them. I didn't like It Follows either. I hated it.
And I love It Follows.
It Follows literally put me to sleep. Like I was asleep.
It is slow.
Movie. And I'm like,
it is slow. But for an artistic point of view, the camera scenes and everything is beautiful.
To me,
so I think that's why I loved it so much. And the scenes where something is happening is really done like well. So
to me, it seemed like the movie was made from the rough draft of the script. Like they wrote the script and didn't make any improvements on it. It's like, okay, I'm done with it. Just make the movie. It was like, because a lot of it didn't make sense. There was a ton of plot holes, and it was basically glorified slut shaming. And I'm like, no thanks. But still, it's a classic. People love it. Cool, because I also don't like The Exorcist. And it's like, that movie bores me. But it's a classic, and I'm not going to say it's not, because it's like, it made some differences, just like It Follows made some differences.
Made differences.
Yeah, so I'm not ever gonna, you're not ever gonna see me say you're stupid for liking that movie. And like, it's like, I didn't like it, you like it, so what? That's awesome. Cool, we have a difference of opinion. And like, and then you got
we can still have differences of opinion in this world.
Yeah, people don't realize that on Twitter. No one realizes that. Everyone's like, oh, you don't like that, well, fuck you. And it's like, well, fuck you, Ezekiel. Damn.
Damn.
Like, why are you attacking me because I like something? Dude, Laszlo,
why are you attacking me because I don't like something?
Dude, Laszlo, this is for real. We have proof. It's on the Death Curse podcast back in the day. Laszlo thinks that the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street is better than the original. There is one person on this earth right now that thinks the remake is better than the original. And you know what? And I go on a long rant about it in the podcast where I'm like, because Adrian's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, no, dude,
it's his opinion. It's
like, I love it because I love Jackie Earle Haley. And I'm like, did I hate the remake? No, everyone else hated the remake. I'm like, it wasn't.
Yeah, a lot of people hate it.
Yeah, but
it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. But it's not one of those movies where I think that it's like so terrible. Like, how dare they put it out in the world? So
yeah. But I mean, it's but that kind of brings it to the life lesson thing that we do, is that I love that he loved that, because I would do anything for Laszlo. Like, I would take a bullet for that dude, and that's kind of our life lessons. Like,
I know you would.
I love Laszlo. Like he's one of my best friends easily. The dude is always there for me. And like, if I ever needed anything, and that includes whooping some ass, I'm like, hey man, and he will be there in a second with his brass knuckles. So it's like, hey,
who we're beating up today?
I've seen the man naked, and he is built like a brick shit house. So he is a scary motherfucker. But it's like that I would do anything for him, and it's like that's kind of our thing. It's like Candyman would do anything for Helen. You know, and that includes killing the psychologist and
breaking her free, making her look like a murderer.
Yes, yeah. He had to, man, and then burning her alive so he'll have her, killing a child. But it's like, you know, so that's like your life lesson, like, you know, and I'd do anything for you, including say Candyman 5 times in a mirror with the lights out. Yeah. So I was like, you know, I mean,
several times now.
Yes, I do a lot. I'm like waiting every time I get a text message from you and something's going on, and I'm like, oh man, she's having a day of it. And I'm like,
I unfortunately have a lot of days. So.
And I'm like, ran it, baby, right in my ears. I'm like, ear fuck my ear holes. Come on, let's do this with your stress fuck my ear holes.
I write a book, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but
the shit that happens to me literally would be put in soap operas. It's that bad.
Oh, you mean like buying a brand new car and someone running into you like a month later? You mean like that?
It takes like a month for everything to get fixed because they don't have insurance. There was a problem with our insurance. And I have my baby back though. I have my baby back. So that's all I care. And then I almost got hit the next day. I'm not even fucking kidding you. I told my husband, I'm like, I swear to God, if she would have hit me, I would have like lost my mind.
Fun fact, first phone call I ever got from Charcy was about that wreck. First phone call ever. Like, you never called me before.
That was the first time I ever called you. Yeah, I kept it to text messages.
Yeah, I was in Books A Million, and I got a call, and my phone says,
I'm like, can I call you?
Yeah, my phone says, well, actually, my phone said your real name, because then you're under my real name, but it says Charcy on it, and I'm like, I looked at Michaela, and I'm like, and she said, you better fucking answer that. Something's wrong. Okay, but yeah, for the record, my wife loves Charcy. Like I am
And I love
allowed to talk to.
Michaela.
Yes,
So
I'm allowed to talk to her whenever I want. I can text her at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she doesn't give a crap. So yeah, so people who here that are shipping us, sorry, our spouses.
I don't care. I ship it.
But yeah, I answered, and that was you.
It was.
You were like, I just got in a wreck. I'm like, oh shit. She's like,
It was so stupid too, because I was in a straightaway at an intersection, and she was in front of me, and then you have the left turn lane, and there's a car sitting there. Well, this chick in front of me decides she wants to go left, and she turns on her blinker, and I'm literally in the process of looking. It's like, what the hell does she think she's gonna do? This is only a one left turn lane, and it's like, bam, she put on her she just that fast, and my brain trying to figure out what she thinks she's gonna do, she reverses right into me, and I was just like,
women drivers.
shut up. Not all women are bad drivers, and I know some pretty shitty male drivers out there. So
I have literally, I'm the worst because it's like, I've never been ever in a wreck that was my fault, ever. I've been T-boned twice.
I have never been in a wreck that was my fault either. So
and I've never had a speeding ticket.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I should have one.
No,
but
I shouldn't have one. I drive like a bitch. Like Michaela hates it. I am driving 5 miles under the speed limit wherever I go. And it's hard grained in here because my brother's a cop. So it's like I mind all the freaking rules. I've never been in trouble. Like I've never been inside of a jail. I've never been talked to by a police officer. It's just I am the biggest.
Been pulled over for headlights being out.
Yeah. Not even that. If my headlight's out, it's fixed. If my tail light's out, it's fixed before I get on the road. I'll check that shit. It's crazy.
When you're shit out of the luck and you're on your way home from work, it's like, funny thing, officer, I just discovered it.
Exactly. Like it's crazy. But yeah, that was, I don't know. I just have I just have luck, I guess. It's good stuff. Even like, no, wait, I was pulled over once. Like I was working at Blockbuster. I was the manager and driving to Blockbuster. I was a little late, so I was going a little fast and pulled over, and I'm waiting. I'm like, crap, it's gonna be my first ticket. This is crazy. And the guy pulls up. I roll down my window, and it's Officer Travis Porter, who I rent movies to all the time. And he just looks in, he just goes, "Oh, I better not have late charges." Just walks away. I'm like, all right. And I like pull into Blockbuster.
You're like, I'm late to work.
I pull into Blockbuster, Travis Porter, and I'm like, late charges wiped out. Yeah, it's like,
you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Why'd you do that? And I'm like, dude just could have given me a ticket for going 10 miles over the speed limit. So that was, and then my tattoo artist, I used to wipe out his late charges too. It's like, he was like a buddy, and he was like, man, I'm sorry, I couldn't bring that movie back. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It was on time. So yeah, it was cool. Like, working at Blockbuster was the stuff. That was my favorite job I ever had. That was the best. So yeah.
So I had teased you that this was going to be a quicker episode. We're already at an hour.
People are going to want. They like hearing. They like what they do.
Life stories.
What they do is they look at your side of the screen while I'm talking and just tune me out. And then the ladies look at my side of the screen and tune you out. Because we've been told, or I've been told, we are the sexiest podcast out there.
Sure.
One person said it. If one person says it, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, well. and they ship us, which I had to kind of ask you what the hell that
I ship
meant.
it. I told you to ask your buddy Jason because he's a weeb like me. He'd know.
Well, I did. I texted you. I'm like, hey, what does it mean when people ship us? She was like, I don't know what that means. She was like, well, I'm like, oh, why?
In context, for anyone who doesn't know what shipping it is, it's where you basically take two characters that you like in a show or a movie that you want to see get together, but they're never going to get together. So you ship them together. And there's, especially in the world of anime, there is a huge world of like underground art with shipping characters in relationships. So welcome to being a weeb.
9 hours. 9 hours. That's I'll just say that. Like, no. 9 hours. I don't do, if we were both single, that's a no. Because I don't do long distance stuff. So my
but
kid
anyway,
that big. Just roll it out.
We can wrap it up now. After that.
Yes.
So
I need to put Candyman
for joining
on.
us here. Yeah, Candyman. Oh, yep, Candyman.
No,
But
Candyman.
thank you for joining us.
So, yeah.
Thank you for joining us here on the little channel of horrors with the Wackadoodle DC, my partner in crime. You can find him on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter. My Instagram is Charcy87. My Twitter is Charcy Lux. You are fucking me up. DC, where can they find you?
Here, go for it. Go for it.
Go for what?
Finish it.
Everyone, enjoy the rest of your day and go watch Candyman and join us next week. And please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, what she said. She's smarter than me. Bye.